Howdy, all Black Lives. I think it's time to play a little. Some days die. Alright. I believe I am looking for places to map out that might be useful to me. Or that garage back there would have been useful. But I'm trying to hold out for storefronts and daycares, things like that. Maybe construction sites. Oh, I remember what I was going to do now. I was going to go hit that fort on my way back through. That's a weird pile. I think the fire station's got some boxes inside the garage, right? I'll have to head in there and see. I don't know why I'm carrying that coat around with me. Oop, oop, oop. Got some. Oh, you're a weird. Yeah, well, not weird. You're a different fire station than I was thinking of. Hey, bunny. Were you waiting to get in the fire station? That says it's unlocked. Let's see how we do here. Easy enough. Nothing in the bathroom. So, yeah, I finished getting together. So finished getting together that modified D&D I want to try and run. I got a city started. I made a little world for it. It's probably going to be really like done on the fly. So I don't know how much ahead of time planning I'll necessarily do. There's a couple of websites that make like random cities and stuff that I like. Random NPCs, random dungeons, which makes it way easier to do stuff. I can just jump on, grab a dungeon, upload it to the site, and be good to go, basically. I feel like there's a lot of guys coming here. Alright. There wasn't a lot of guys coming. They were moving fast, though, and I don't appreciate that. And so last night we were playing Final Fantasy, and I had talked with the my DM about it, and he said, "Ooh, let's see, charge strike." Oh, I don't really use stun batons. Diamond tools, yeah, diamond tools. That's awesome. I can make a diamond pickaxe. I will have to get the diamond pickaxe made. Well, it's a diamond tip for the pickaxe, right? Man. No wonder I need so many bullets. I can't hit anything. I don't need that. Oh no! I didn't jump. I tried to jump and I fell just straight down instead. That's not the plan. So I was talking to him about it, and he said that maybe instead of playing Final Fantasy every week on Sundays and Tuesdays, that maybe on a Tuesday we can play that instead. And so I brought that up. Oh, why didn't you jump? I pushed the button. You didn't jump, you just fell off. You're making it difficult to see what's on the roof of this thing. And so he also sounds completely disinterested in trying it out. He didn't say no, but he's made some really odd comments about the fact that I was doing this, and everybody else seems pretty excited about trying it out. And he, whoa, something just zoned in here, trying to kill me off. Feathers. That's what was on the roof of here. Feathers. And so I was like, hey guys, I'm at the point where we could probably start looking at playing, and I want to do a single player session, one-on-one to get started. And so I'll try and oh, I still haven't been in the garage. This must be the way in the garage. Oh, that was excellent. Not jumping down on top of that thing. And so sometime here I get together with everybody and we'll do some one-on-one sessions. And the DM, he's like, when are you doing that? I'm like, I don't know. I probably thought we'd start this week, maybe getting the one-on-one sessions out of the way, and we can see where it goes from there. Maybe we won't like it, but we won't know until it gets started. It might be awful. I can't tell from concept to application, and I'm sure some things will have to be tweaked as we go. Because I don't quite have it completely solidified how things work in my head. But I got a general idea of how I think it should work. And so he's like, yeah, I just, I don't think I'll have time this week to do something like that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, it wouldn't be like a whole 4-hour game session or something. I mean, I'm talking like maybe 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, I'm pretty booked all week this week. So you're not gonna be here for Final Fantasy or the D&D we play on with? No, I was still planning on making it to those. I don't know if I have time to do the other thing that you want to do. If you don't want to do it, I said, I can just play with the other guys if you don't want to do it. That's fine. No, I'll play it. I just don't know if I'll have time this week. Like, really? Hey, that's a new. Do you get a shotgun part if you tear that apart? You do. Look at shotgun parts. Nice. I'm pretty sure that might be the first shotgun I've looted. Maybe this is a good sign. Maybe I finally have moved into higher tier of looting. Nope. Stone shovel. And freaking stone axe. Nobody wants your stone axes, game. I'll take steel tool parts though. That's something I can use. All right. So yeah, I don't know what's the deal with him. I don't know why he's so against. I mean, it's fine if he doesn't want to play it. I wish he'd just say, I don't want to do this. And then we would play without him. We don't have to play on the same night. It's fine. We can pick a different night if they want to do it. Whatever. We don't have to do it at all. It was just an idea I had. But man, he really, really seems passive aggressively against. You know what? I need to mark this place because there was some good stuff in here. Fire station. I'm gonna swing around the corner here though and see what this must be. Is it a house? I don't know. We'll see. And then we'll head back to the base and see about getting that diamond tip made on that pick because it'll help. Yeah, it's just a big house. Oh no, it's Bob's Boars. Carl's Corns. This is where you get the mutated stuff, right? Maybe we'll jump in here and check out some mutated stuff. Oops, I need that. Yeah, my thought is I got a map together for a city, and um, then I have supercorn right there. I stole your supercorn. And so it's a pretty big city, and I've got an idea how I want the game to start. So the game is going to be the city is under siege. So okay, I've been reading these lit RPG books where people are like pulled into other worlds or you know, uh, alien invasion causes the world to be turned into a video game kind of thing. Um, it doesn't turn the world into a video game, but there's like a nano a nanobot based um, system that the aliens use, and so it gets applied to Earth, and so then you have access to the system, and you earn points and spend them in the system. You earn money and spend it in the system, and it also you go up levels and get new abilities, and there's classes. So it's kind of like turned into a video game, but I find it to be a lot of fun to read, and so I thought it'd be cool to play a D&D game based around this. And so my thought process is that they would get pulled into the world by a spell, not intended to bring them in, but it wasn't cast correctly, and so it'd be some kind of summon things that the bad guys have done, and so they'll get pulled from Earth. So they're going to be just humans from Earth pulled into this other world where, I mean, to the characters, it won't be a game. They won't know about the stats and stuff, but the players, people playing, of course, will know. And there's like a super evil boar down in here. Pretty sure there's like a super boar. I'm gonna get some more of this. I don't know if this is super corn or regular corn. It's super corn. I don't remember what the deal is with Super Corn. I don't think it is that amazing, if I remember correctly, but maybe it is now. I don't know. We'll have to see. Nice. Every time, I'm just hoping. I'm like, ooh, is this my crucible? Ugh. I already know how to make a workbench. Thanks. I just need a crucible. I don't know why you're so mean to me about that crucible. What's going on here? Weird. Okay. Pretty sure there's like a super boar. Down in here. Must be down in there. Well, let's get some people supplies, I guess, while we're in here. Robotics parts. Just in case. Well, I do. I need more farmland, right, for super corn now. Oop. And so, one, I want to make I want the game to be less. You get experience, you go up a level, you get new abilities, and more like some of my favorite of the lit RPG books, where as you do things, you gain abilities, and so instead of a single XP pool, every ability, every stat will have its own XP. And so like dexterity will be tied into movement, right? And so everybody starts out at a basic movement speed. I knew that was going to do that. I knew you were going to try and knock me down in there with crazy look areas, mutant boar. I knew you were down in there with your big. Man. Die, Super Boar? And so like, you do dexterous things, you get more dexterous. And well then, you get enough enough dexterity, then you unlock some dexterity points. And then you can spend the dexterity points on dexterity abilities. But the abilities will be something I mean, if they're physical abilities, like you can now move 5 feet faster, right? That's not something that necessarily will require training. You just get a lot of meat from this guy. He's very green. And so, so that was kind of my idea, and so I've gone through and I've split up all the abilities, and based them on a stat, and then assign them levels. And so you're gonna have to go up the same number of levels, but it works differently. So there's there's an idea of how D&D is supposed to be played, uh, and so it's supposed to be X amount of what do we get here? Scrap, knuckle wraps. I don't do that. That's a blunderbuss. I don't need a level 6 bone shiv. I'll take machine gun parts though, for sure. And so the idea is that there's so many fights that happen per level, and so I was looking to what they said was the number of fights per level, and so I figured out, you know, based on the number of fights per level and my knowledge of how long it takes for a fight to usually last, how many uh, how many actions you could perform in a turn. And so it's all based off of the normal action economy of D&D. It's just you don't get experience, you get a skill point, or not a skill point, you get a experience point, but in that skill, not I don't know what to throw out. This casino chip is useless to me. And okay, I don't want to go out. I want to see what's in that other tunnel down there. And yeah, so I've got it all planned out. I put a lot of work into this, and so I do find it strange how passive aggressive my DM is for it. But so what I thought was, you know, the game starts, they get pulled into the other world by the spell, and so I laid out the city, and then I've placed numbers on the city, and so I'll have them roll a d20, and then that will determine where in the city they're at during what's going on. And oh, it didn't go anywhere. I thought that was a tunnel. It was just a dead end there. And so I thought that'd be cool if they got to start in separate places and then eventually meet up. And then that way, whoever goes first can be my guinea pig on creating a character and setting up a session and seeing how that goes. And then once we get a feel for it, plus that way, you know, because I want to make it more you do things to get your abilities unless you just get abilities. And because I also think what that will do is it will allow you to create a character that's based around how you play the game, and not you have to play the game based around your character. And so, like, for example, I play a fighter, right? And the fighter it's an alright class. I really like some versions of the fighter. I'm not a big fan of the one I'm currently playing, but I'm currently playing him because, you know, I'm trapped. Because you got to know what you're talking about. You know, if you're going to form an opinion, you probably shouldn't just have random opinion with no factual basis, right? I mean, you can, but I usually like to learn about something before you know, that's not my bike. Oh no, that is my bike, right? No, that's my home. My bike's over here by my bed. And so I want to play through this Battle Master class, which everybody seems to, well, not everybody, but they're very vocal that it is the best fighter class, and I still am not a fan of it. Level 11 now, and I still have not felt synergy with the class like I do with a champion fighter or an arcane archer. I could get into those characters. I don't understand what the battle master is supposed to do. It's got some extra dice, so it gets some extra abilities, but there's so little and so few of them that it just doesn't translate. There's only like two abilities that I've got as a champion fighter because I'm a champion fighter that I even really like. And one of those could easily be replaced by just shoving. Just shove them down. and and so it like there's a trip attack ability, which is nice because it means that when you attack, you can add extra damage and cause the bad guy to fall down. Right. So that's useful because the other way, which I have done with my champion fighter, is you use one of your attacks during the turn to shove them down, and then you can make your regular attacks after that. So all it does is lets me do damage on the trip attack, um, which is nice. Which I need to remember to use more often. I guess the other ability I've found is kind of useful is precision attack that lets you add extra to your dice rolls to try and hit something. But honestly, if I wasn't playing a great weapon master and taking -5 off my rolls, it'd be pretty rare for me not to hit anyways. If I switch to my regular magic sword right now, and because I have one that does fire damage that I use all the time, but it doesn't have a bonus to it. So if I switch to my sword that does have a bonus but doesn't have any special abilities, then I'd get a +11 on my attacks, I think. And so most of the time I would have to roll less than a 9. And I usually roll around a 12, to be honest. Um, that's like my high score right there is a nice 12. But so there isn't a lot that the Battle Master does. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the abilities, and so playing the character, fine. I've got the Battle Master abilities; they're all right. I just don't think they're as spectacular as I can do with a champion has less abilities that you have to do stuff with, so then the game becomes more about creative ways to use your abilities, and so Battlemaster, I guess, feels more locked down into those abilities than a champion fighter does. Um, and so, uh, but one of the Battlemaster's abilities is this thing where you're supposed to look at a bad guy or a person for a minute, and if you look at him for a minute, then you'll learn stuff about them. And so that's an ability I never use. It's super rare to be in a spot where I get a minute, forget need. It's pretty rare to be in a spot where I have a minute to look at something before it attacks us. And so it's not an ability that I've ever really used, like maybe once or twice. And then the information, I don't remember what information it gives back, but I don't remember it being very amazing, um, the information that comes back. And so it's hard to justify using some of those abilities like that because I mean it's weird, and it's not an ability that I necessarily um, want. And so, it'd be nice to have a system where if I want to be a stealthy fighter who also uses a little bit of magic, I don't have to level up like 12 times and spend points into my int to get that, um, which is kind of I guess my ideal goal here. And so You know what? I don't need that on me. That was supposed to turn into metal. And then get some more of those in there, and you can have that. I want to see if I can turn these into supercorn seeds. I can. So now I need another row. Oh man, I don't have room for another row, right? Because this is my pumpkin row. Now I need a whole nother row just for these supercorns. Man. Well. But yeah, so I'm hoping that uh, it allows the people to play more as characters. The other thing that I'd like to do, and a little less as classes, I'd like to play a game where everybody's more involved in how their character interacts with the world, and and a little less what can my character do, and a little less or a little more what do I want to do as a character, if that makes any sense. You know, if my fighter wants to stealth and do stealthy things, then I think they should eventually get better at stealth. And D&D doesn't really lean into your character getting better because they do something. Like in any game I've ever played, I've never had a DM that lets me train my character to get better. You get better by going up levels. You don't get better by having your guy, you know, speak to someone who's better than they are and get one-on-one training sessions, or they can practice in the practice yard. You know, things that in real life you would get better. You get new abilities. You would, you know, learn things. And so yeah, so I wanted to adapt it to that. But so they'll we'll go through how their character grew up a little bit. Not major details, but like, what did your parents do? Because often what your parents did will influence how you grow up, right? And not all the time, of course. But like I grew up on a farm, so for me, like I say, okay, well, my parents were one was a school teacher, one was a farmer, right? And so that might give me a bonus to animal handling, right? I was around animals a lot. Um, as a school teacher, I might get a bonus to history, right? So there we go. I got two bonuses to my abilities to do history, and now, of course, history wouldn't matter in the new world, but my ability to learn history, right? Um, or you know, maybe you were really into science club. Well, there you go. You get a bonus in alchemical handling or something. You know, alchemy tools. I didn't do chemistry in high school, so I wouldn't have the slightest idea how to use you know, chemistry tools. Um, but and so they get to bring some of those, you know, abilities over to the new world because they're just humans from Earth who have now wound up in this other fantastical world where they also now have the ability to gain new things like spells, and you know, some I'm hoping they don't go like meta with it and be like, you know, I spent my childhood living in a dojo learning, you know, kendo and um, or anything like that, but we'll see. Uh, but yeah, and so then they'll roll the d20, and then the d20 will place them in the world, and they're gonna wind up entering the world while the city is under attack, because the spell that brings them into the city is a spell being cast to summon something, and and it, you know, they'll bleed through basically, right? And so the uh it'll make a thin spot in the worlds, and they'll fall from one world dimension to another, and so they'll just be on this alternate planet, um, in the alternate universe, and suddenly find themselves facing off against, you know, crazy, mystical, magical creatures that they're not necessarily familiar with. That's the plan, anyways. We'll see how it goes. Oh man, some first aid kits. All right. Well, with that, I am going to call it a day. I need to get back to work here. So, be better than the small things. Lean into the light. I will talk to you later.